Today I'm showing you all of my favorite makeup that I use to create my everyday makeup look for my very dry 43-year-old skin. These are my absolute favorite products that make me feel glowy and bronzy and hydrated. If you are looking for makeup tips or ideas or even just products that might work for your very dry skin, then this video is for you. I applied my skincare about an hour ago and it is fully absorbed. So I am going to add just a little bit of face oil, and I'm really loving the La Prunuer. It smells heavenly, like almonds. It's actually made out of plums, but it smells like almonds to me. And I'm only just gonna use just a tiny bit and kind of just warm it up on the back of my hands. I don't wanna use too much so my makeup slides all over my face, but enough to where it just kind of gives me a little bit more moisture and hydration. And yeah, I know my face gets really red for no reason. Don't be alarmed. It's normal for me. All right, right into the foundation. Right now, I have like, I don't know, 10 different foundations in my drawer, and the Natasha Denona is the one that I reach for the most often. It is perfect for anybody who has dry or mature skin. The shade I have is P3. Now, when I really want to do it right, not to say I do it all the time, but when I really want to do it right, I will apply it to the back of my hand first, a little pro tip. Warm it up and then apply it with a airbrush makeup brush. And the reason why I like to apply it to the back of my hand first is you see that I'm getting more of just like a lightweight coverage. When I just go straight in on my face and just drops, then I get too much and then it ends up looking a little cakey. And not just this formula, any formula. But for me, I don't want anything too heavy. I just want to even out my skin tone. I do have to say, if I had to choose a second favorite, the House Labs is on that list. I also really like to buff it in because I think that it helps somewhat disguise my pores. So yes, I am an over blender, I've been told by some of you. On another, oh my God, favorite, all the videos that I've used this in, people just go crazy over this. One, it's just so cheap, and two, it just brightens your eyes and gives you just a more wide awake look. So I do want to apologize. I didn't have a chance to do my nails. Yeah, whatever though. Go in with your little index finger. You can use a brush if you want, but I like the way it goes on with fingers. Actually, it is much easier to apply your makeup when you don't have nails, so go in. I start with my fingers and then I will use a brush because sometimes it is a little bit easier to deal. You can use a concealer brush if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and with this Denona Matrix. I do like this one for so many things. It has a little cat paw situation. This is actually meant to brighten up your under eyes, but I like using it as a eyeshadow base. And then technically I really don't use it too much underneath, but I do like to drag it down a little bit here. But I do find too many products underneath where your under eyes are will make you look crepey, which is the opposite of what I'm trying to do. As you can see, that did kind of just brighten it up a little bit. If you wanted to go in just a little bit more, you can. Like it, like I said, as an eyeshadow base, because it's a lot creamier than an eyeshadow base. I don't really like eyeshadow bases. They dry down too matte, and then I actually find it harder to apply my eyeshadow. Let's do eyeshadow right now, and I'm only gonna use one of the colors in this because this is my everyday look. Like if I were to do a little bit more glam makeup, then I will play with eyeshadows a little bit more, but I just want this flush colored eyeshadow to give me just like a little bit of more brightness. And this is Anastasia Soft Glam. I don't know why people feel the need to buy like a full. These minis are just suffice. Like I'll never use all of that. Literally won't. And I probably, you know, could have just bought just that color, but it's always nice to have options. All right, just a little flash color to set that cream. And that's all I use out of here today. What I love to use off label is the RMS. This is the Hydra Dimension Blush and Maidens Blush. And I use this multi-purpose, like over my entire face a lot of times. But for my eyeshadow, I'll show you what I do. I like to just use it to warm it up. I like the consistency too, or the texture, more than I like eyeshadows. I don't know, maybe it's just because it's just, I don't know, so satiny. It's not as powdery. And I'll use this again on my cheeks mixed with some other things, but it's just really pretty. I like what do you call it? A monochromatic. Look, and this is just an empty brush. I mean, it looks like it has color on it because it's stained. I promise I do clean my brushes regularly though. All right, so that kind of just gave me a little bit of warmth. Made me look a little bit more alive. Now, I don't always every day put an eyeliner up in my lash line, but on the days where I want to look a little bit more elevated, I will do that. So I'm going to do that today to show you. This is waterproof black. I'm using black today because I have black lashes and I'm not using it as an actual eyeliner, so I'm not worried about it being too harsh. But I do just want to just like graze my upper lash line, and this gives my eyes a little bit more intensity, whatever, something like that. And then I kind of just like let it dry a little bit so it doesn't transfer, or I'll just keep my eyes open. But yeah, this is also by Gibson Girl. Also, I have sensitive eyes, and it does not make my eyes water or anything. I mean, I try not to get it in my lash line just because I don't want it, or in my waterline just because I don't want it to, but so, I mean, I'm sure if you go crazy, anything you put in there can cause sensitivities, but it doesn't for me. I'm gonna do my lashes, and then we'll get to some really fun face stuff that I'm loving. I'm not gonna bore you, I'm gonna put this on, but this is, I'm telling you, the only mascara you will ever need ever again. And I've tried a bazillion. This is Tartelette, the Tartelette tubing. They also have, I think, like a Tartelette tubing extreme. No, this one's the one. It's so easy to apply. So I'm gonna apply so you're not like bored, and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, one coat, not even 2 coats. Look at that, look at that. You can get this on Amazon. A lot of times they have a really good deal. For whatever reason, I was nervous for it. Maybe it was like, you know, not authentic, but it is. And you can put it on your lower lashes. It's actually light enough. It will not weigh them down. All right, look at that. Look at that. I like to use this Khiels Super Multi-Corrective Eye Zone Treatment. I ain't gonna lie, I think this was like 60 bucks. I can't remember. It was more expensive than I would have liked. But out of all the eye creams, especially for this project, I will buy this again. And you just literally need a tiny amount. So, I mean, yes, it was worth it. So I go in, and especially up in my inner corner, I like to really make sure that's hydrated. And just kind of swoop it up, give myself extra hydration. Oh yeah. All right, so I like to do that. let that kind of sit, not too long. And another thing I like to do, sometimes I'll do both, to be honest. Sometimes I'll just grab for whatever is closest. This one is, if I had to choose between the two, this one's my go-to. But I will grab for this eye oil. This is by Kora. And it's ginormous. I don't remember how much it was, maybe like in the 30s, but I'll never go through this entire bottle. But this is nice too, to get up in here and let that kind of marinate. If you have super dry skin like me, especially in your eyes, you don't need very much. And I've tried other things too. I don't know, like this. I don't know. I don't love it. It helps hydrate a little bit, but those two are better. All right. And then, you know, maybe a little extra dry right here, just whatever the remnants, kind of like do that. All right, so if you're not familiar with my channel, I have 3 concealer videos, review videos where I've tested over 20 concealers. So this next step, trust me when I say that this concealer is the bomb. It really is, because I've tested a lot, and I do have some other favorites, but this Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer is what I grab for. Always gotta make sure that whatever you're using, your under eyes are hydrated, because otherwise the concealer doesn't have a chance. But out of all of the ones that I use, this is the one that I go back to. And I will show you a little hack. If you are unfamiliar, the best way to do it, kind of like what I did with my foundation, is apply it to the back of your hand first. The only thing I have to say is it does collect product on the cap for whatever reason. It could be that I have it upside down a lot of times. Whatever. I'll have to try not doing that. So apply it to the back of your hand, warm it up on the back of your hand. And I have like 6 shades, not gonna lie, because I was testing them. And I use P2 out of all of the shades. I do have neutral skin, so I can get away with the neutral one and the yellow one. But I like the peach because it helps brighten up your under eye, and it does help cancel out any dark circles that you may have. And they do have a corrector, which if I am really wanting to get glammed up, I will take the time to use the corrector one. Sometimes I'll just mix them together. Where is she? Oh. And that's the C1. I'll show you what that looks like next to it. And just for funsies, we'll do that. We're gonna mix them together. And I'll go up in here because it does have a little bit more brightening. So if I really wanted to, I would use that in my little crevices and then go back in with that one. So, and then I'll take the rest of it on my fingers and do that to get rid of the redness, kind of sculpt your nose a little bit. And then let that sit, let it do its job. And we will come back to that. We are back. I'm gonna use my beauty blender, and I'm gonna use, then this is like when I really wanna do it right. I ain't gonna lie, I will get impatient and grab my makeup brush, but that's not gonna give you the best result. When you do just a little bit, dabbing, letting it dry and then dab with a beauty blender or your finger, you're gonna get much better results. This is a concealer that you can layer. For me, I don't like to do that unless I accidentally like take off too much initially, or I'm like really getting glammed up. But on a regular basis, less is more. And even like this look might seem glam to somebody, but you know, your hairstylist, I'm in the beauty salon all the time. I just love products and makeup. So I like to, you know, I'm a little bit more glam probably than the normal. All right, another little hack. Squeeze your eyes. And then if you have any concealer left in your little crevices, wipe it out. I mean, I did a pretty good job with my beauty blender that I didn't have to deal with that. All right, we're moving right along to some other really fun products. I love this. I love this. I actually was gifted this, and I haven't even had a chance to talk about it in a video like 6 months ago. And it's thebomb.com. Clearly, I mean, I've used that much of it, and you only need a pump. So let me show you. If you've ever heard, if you've ever heard of the debronzing drops by Drunk Elephant, they're great, but this is better. This is better, and I'm going to show you. What I'd like to do is just take a little teeny bit. You only need a little teeny bit, and sometimes it's hard to just get that out. All right, a little teeny bit. And actually, to be honest, I forgot. I usually like to do this like right after my foundation, but what I like to do is, oh my God, I hope you didn't hear my stomach growling because my microphone is kind of close to my stomach, but if you did, I need to eat, I guess. All right. So the reason why I like to usually do it right after my foundation is because my foundation is still a little bit moist. And then I just use my foundation brush and push it into my skin. It gives you the nicest glow. And it just melts right into your skin. And then I do drag it down, you know, dust your nose. And I'm just pushing. You can do little swirls, it's okay. As long as you don't have too much powder on your skin. I wouldn't do this after you know, if you powdered your skin. I would do it before. But look how pretty that is. Now, I am a glowy girl. I love the glow. So that's not the only products I'm gonna use. Shoot. I mean, I'll go back and forth with these. Sometimes I will use all of them, but I have to give a shout out to the Saie. I love this for even more bronzy glow. I like it because it doesn't have the shimmer. Like this doesn't have shimmer, but it's illuminating. This is matte. So if you don't want any shimmer, you're just not an illuminating girl, or find them to be not right for you, that works great. This time I'm gonna use my, this is my Sephora brush, number 93. And it's clean. A lot of times it has a little remnants of my blush from the day before, which I actually like. But it's clean, and I just kind of melt it in on top of that other color. So that's an option. I guess maybe I wouldn't add too much more, because normally what I like to do is take whatever was left over from the day before, which usually has my Maidens blush on it, and tap that in. Blush is the first thing that goes away on your face, so it is okay to add more than you think, because as soon as you put your powder on, you're like, where'd my blush go? And you'll see that. So I might actually end up putting more on. But before, dang it, I forgot another blushy thing. I ain't gonna lie. It's almost like this. So this is Gibson Girl. This is Desert Plum. You just need a little bit. And what I like to do is kind of do that. Usually what I like to do is that, then I have my Saie on like this. Then I go in with a little bit of powder and mush it all in. So let's give us a little bit more of a lift with that blush. It's called the Lip and Cheek Cream, and so did I tell you the shade? It's Desert Plum, and it's almost like a burnt blush. Like a bronzer, and that's exactly what I think of Maidens blush, is like a bronzer. So it has the tones of a blush and a bronzer together. That's why I love it, and that's why I love it on my eyes. Drag it down. And all the tones that I like to use are natural tones that, you know, like the sun would naturally hit your face if you were to be on a desert island. If you were, you know, like on vacation or whatever, and allowed yourself to get just a little bit of sun, just a little. And I probably don't need to add one more thing to my face because there's plenty already on, but I do have to kind of give a shout out to this dib stick. This is a newer one that I've been using lately, but it is a blush bronzer duo stick, and it has the same trends that I'm using on my other colors. If you can see, actually you can see why I like it so much. There's the shades, but like literally, I'm not even kidding. You see it, I don't like to branch out. I like it works really good on my skin tone. This is the mini stick too. They do have full size, but I like trying, if there's a mini option, you better believe I'm gonna test it out first before I go on full in with a full size, because like why? That'll last me forever. Probably won't even use all of it. All right, so for lips, and then we'll set, what I'm loving right now, oh my God, one of my friends gifted this, one of these to me for my birthday. And I loved it so much, I got it in this shade. This is an Amazon, or at least I got this one on Amazon. It's Korean, it's a lip oil, but it's not just a lip oil, it's a lip oil stain. Let me show you how freaking amazing it is. I don't know which one I want to show you. I feel like this one's a little bit more intense than this one, but let me show you. I am going to put a little lip liner on first to give myself a little definition. So I'm going to use something very similar to like my natural lip shade, which is like a light pinky nude. And so this is called Satin by Gibson Girl, and it's mechanical. And I'm just gonna give it a little natural definition. I always like to go a little bit outside the lines on the bottom and then smudge it in. Do make sure that your lips are a little moisturized so you can work with it better. And that's with any lip liner. And then just accentuate my top lip a little bit. And then drag it down. Nothing too crazy. All right, I'm gonna show you this one. And if I feel like it's not enough pigment, I'll show you the other one, but it's just so pretty. And it's moisturizing. They do have other shades, but I haven't gotten those yet. And they're like, I wanna say 13 bucks. Okay. Look how pretty that is. It takes like a couple seconds for it to like show up, but look, let me see if I can show you if it does it on the back of your hand. Okay, see? Not freaking pretty. Let's see what it does on my hand. All right, so that's, I didn't even tell you the shade. It's Apple Peony. Okay, you can kind of see what it's doing. And then this one, this is the one that my friend gave me for my birthday. Apple Berry. And this is just a little bit more intense. I wouldn't say intense, but just a little deeper. And the stain, once the oil kind of disappears, the stain is still there. So it just looks really pretty and natural. And it's just, oh, it's so amazing. I'm telling you, I'm very picky and I have a bazillion lips products. And these are the ones that I'm reaching for over and over. Again, I know they kind of look the same on the back of my hand, but they're not. They're both amazing. All right, so for setting, what am I doing? Let me make sure I didn't miss anything of my favorites. Yeah, no, I think I gave you all my favorites so far. All right, so what I'm doing for setting, and I have tried a bazillion setting powders too, is the Gibson Girl, and I'm not biased. I'm not just saying that because it's my brand, my line. I want to be super transparent about that. But it's just so finely milled, okay? So, and I don't really use a ton of powder. I like to combine it with a setting spray. So the only place I use powder is right here. And you can just see how it kind of diffused my pores. And I'm using the Hourglass 14. Let me just tell you, if you don't have it, it's a must have. And then yes, here I go. I do just, let me make sure I have the rest of it off. For my under eyes, do make sure that you do have dust off the extra. And then see how I'm not going up into under my lash line or anything? It's just where, what I would call like your divots or your troughs right here, just lightly. And then I drag it down to where my pores are right here. So those get diffused too. I mean, look at that. I mean, it helps, right? The older we get, these damn freaking pores, I'm serious. It's just like, where did they come from? Same thing over here, just a little bit. And get rid of the pores and then dry it down here. I always just kind of like circle it where I want to diffuse my pores. And I will use a puffy puff too. Like you can, if you want to really work it in, I'll do that in those areas. But those are the only areas. Everywhere else, I like to spray a setting spray. And see how the blush kind of went away? I'm so happy with that. But yeah, let me show you. I mean, it's no secret. Everybody knows Charlotte Tilbury is the bust. And this is their new one. This is their airbrush one. It's supposed to be matte. Thank God they don't say that because I think that would scare people. But I just finished my regular one and I saw they came out with this. And it really does give you a flawless finish. And I like the way how finely mist, it smells good, it has. And I usually have my fan and I can't find it. I will have a baby fan that I like to fan my face. So we'll just use my hands. And then you can always add a little bit more blush if you want. You know what? Let's do that. Let's just do that. Because we didn't put this on our face. We'll add a little bit of the blush. It is so similar to the Desert Plum. All right. And then just work it in. I feel like doing that and then adding this over it kind of sets it at the same time. These are just little tips too for longevity. Layering is so much better than just like plopping everything on. I am literally going to the grocery store after this and getting a pedicure. So people would be like, wow, you're so glammy. I mean, these are my everyday products. I clearly added more than I normally would because demonstration purposes. If I were going out, I would definitely do this. And actually this would probably be the only thing I didn't do. You guys are totally more than welcome to move on. But let me just show you what I do because I do love, like I said, this is my multi-purpose and I have this in like 5 different shades and this is the one I use. Anyways, I like to use this as a drop shadow. This will give you it actually makes your eyes look bigger. So do not put this in your lash line because that'll make your eyes look smaller. You're gonna create a new crease. Don't go all the way to the corner here. Don't go all the way to the corner there. And look at that. Adds a little bit more glammy, whatever, vibe. But also, like I said, it does open up your eyes and kind of give you a little bit more drama if you're not somebody who wants to wear eyeliner. All right, here's the final look, my everyday makeup look, using all of my favorites that keep my skin hydrated, glowy and bronzy, and just make me feel fresh and youthful. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps support my channel. Share it with a friend, save it for later. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any more of my future videos. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.